I smile when I think of you, Uganda. My home. My home. I dance when I look at you, Uganda. My home. Oh, my Uganda.
I know with you I'll always stay forever. I know, because I feel that we belong together. My home, under the sun so bright, under the moon at night, on my heart, mommy, oh my Uganda.
Hey, mama.
My Uganda. My Uganda. My Uganda. My Uganda. Nikukunda. My Uganda. Amari alemira. My Uganda.
Nyowe nikugonza.
My Uganda.
Amina ngojo. Amina ngojo.
My Uganda.
At MTN, we look forward to starting another exciting journey together to grow our home, Uganda.
Great conversations. Kati olaba waliwo abakozi abamu abalina tendency nti agenda kuteekawo excuses agambe nti leero nyina omulwadde ng'ate kituba omulwadde yaba taliyo.
Words of inspiration that will inspire you when you wake up every morning.
Ebyo ebintu ebyo babosi baffe bibayisa bubi. Tulina okuba nga tuli ku mulimu 24/7. Bw'oba nga ofunye omulimu guteekemu ekitiibwa.
Tune in to Biblical Truth TV from 8 a.m. to 10 a.m. East African time in the morning. And then on Monday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday, right here on Biblical Truth TV, introducing the High Table. Meet different icons within the country and across the internet, businessmen, politicians, religious leaders, people in the music industry, and different groups of people. They will bring you words that will inspire you, that will move you where you're losing hope at one point. Wait and then catch us live every Monday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday, 8 a.m. to 10 a.m. East African time on Biblical Truth TV. With me, your host, Nathan Ayeni. Thank you.
Zuka tukole, zukuka ogenda okole. Tosobola programu yo eyatukole tulye lunaku Monday to Friday saawa 12 paka saawa mwezi okumakya wano ku Biblical Truth TV tukuzuukusa ne tukuwa emboozi kutwala ku mulimu awo ne tukutegeeza ku bipya ebyakagwawo wamu n'obuyimba obusendeekerevu obugulawo lunaku nga tukwagaliza ekiseera ekirungi ku mulimu. Zuukuka tukole awo tulye.
Good morning, our dear viewers of Biblical Truth TV. From wherever you are, it is exactly 20 minutes to the top of the hour of 10 a.m. in the morning. So I welcome you to the show. Welcome to the show. On my left hand, I have a guest that is going to introduce himself to you. Oh, please, you're welcome, sir. Can we do it scientifically, I think? All right.
My name is Apostle Paul Mugabe. I'm a pastor of a ministry called the New Life Harvest Church. And we're in Entebbe. We're in Entebbe, a place called the Katabi. I'm a married man with one wife, and we have two sons. And briefly, that is about me. God called me. I got saved in 1992. As I was growing around age 18, God called me into teaching. So I teach, I write a number of issues that are very fundamental to the church. So I'm glad to be here today.
Wow, thank you so much, Apostle Prince.
You're welcome.
I want to ask you a few questions. You say that you got saved at the age of 18. You know, it's quite technical. Like at the time we are in right now, for a youth to get saved at 18 and then manage to maintain that kind of faith up to the stage you're in right now. Are there any challenges you faced as a young man? And then how are you able to make it at that age?
Every every born-again child of God faces challenges. We have challenges from the time we receive Jesus Christ and even beginning to understand what it is. Then the pressures outside there, people who have not received him. However, I was, let's say, lucky. My entire family got saved.
Oh.
So I'm a pastor's kid. However, that was not the reason why I was able to overcome the challenges, but rather I interested myself in scriptures as young as I could remember.
Wow.
So I'm kind of someone who has had the Bible foundation
Wow.
from my early stages, and that is one thing that I believe David said, how shall a young man run away from evil? So he says, getting the word and you save it into your spirit or your heart. So that is one of the reasons.
Wow, that's amazing.
We bless.
Also, you say that you have a church,
Yes,
you're a
I do.
pastor.
Yes.
You started up a ministry. Are you the vision bearer of the ministry?
I am the lead pastor of that ministry, but I've worked with Apostle Charles Tumine for about 10 years. And so when time came, he released me to go and start my calling. So I work with Apostle Charles Tumine of New Life Harvest Church, Wate. And so we are under his ministry. He's the founding father of the New Life Harvest churches in Uganda and out of Uganda.
Wow, that's amazing.
Amen.
So that means there are churches that you work along outside the country?
Yeah, we have ministries. We work with other ministries, some which are not directly registered in our names,
Okay.
because we look at how to how to interconnect with other ministries. So we have brothers, sons, daughters, and in that we have some people we mentor, we train. So it's our vision is to take the word to the whole world.
Wow.
So we are not limited to any country or any culture.
Wow, that's amazing. So, you know, COVID-19 has generally affected the whole globe.
That is true.
In the businesses, in churches, and other things. So, could you please share with our viewers some of the challenges that you faced as a church during the COVID-19 pandemic?
The global shaking of COVID-19 shook us beyond what anyone could have imagined, especially in terms of congregating, our normal doing crusades and all that. However, the real church, which Jesus said, I will build my church, that was not shaken. Actually, kind of like COVID-19 helped us to redefine the true church.
Wow.
So from the COVID-19, we discovered that the church was not only just congregating, in as much as Bible says we forsake not the habit of gathering together, but then we discovered that the real church was us spread out across. So much as we were affected, we couldn't go out to evangelize. I always moved, do conferences out of Kampala. We were not able, but somehow we were strengthened. We kind of got rejuvenated by rediscovering ourselves.
Yeah.
So that is the good in the evil that has happened the last 2 years,
Yeah,
I
okay.
could say.
Did you lose some members of the church?
Oh, definitely many people shifted now. 4 months, the first lockdown was about 4 months. By the time we returned, we found that people had scattered. Some had traveled back up country, and others just 4 months, no kind of, some people today's food. If they don't get the word from the pastor today, 1 week or later they are gone. So such lives, because our ministry is about 2 years when we were released from Vuwata and went to Entebbe. So the last those 4 months that we were not in place, of course these young converts people, some backslid, others shifted. So we were affected in terms of the attendance in the church.
Oh, our dear viewers of the Biblical Truth TV, we appreciate every effort that you're putting in to make sure that you follow the program on our YouTube channel, that is the Biblical Truth TV. Please, I please request you to inform your friends, invite them to our YouTube channel, let them also subscribe. We have Apostle Prince Paul Mugabe in our studio. He's such an amazing man. He's still at his young age, but he's a really powerful man of God. In most cases, we know that men of God are supposed to be those grown-up people. But I challenge you today. I bring you a young man here. He's still in his early ages, but he's really doing a great work. So, Apostle Paul Prince Mugabe, I also want to ask you a few things. Now, talking about the church in Uganda today, I'm sure you know very well, you're well equipped with the information of what is going out across the world. The church is really changing. It's not about what we knew before, but things are changing every day and night. So I want to ask you, what is the position of the church in the world today?
The church is, I want to answer in the Bible perspective. Our TV is Biblical Truth. So I want to, someone said that everything I do Bible. Of course, me, Bible, it's about Bible. That's all I teach. So I want to quote a scripture and then I answer. That is a very powerful question.
Okay.
The Bible teaches us in 1 Peter chapter 2, verse 9. The Bible says we are a chosen generation. This is now Peter speaking concerning the church. He said we are a chosen generation. He says we are a royal priesthood. And again he says we are a holy nation, a generation chosen, a royal priesthood, a holy nation. Then he ends saying we are a peculiar people. So those are 4 things. So to answer the question you've just put forth, we must understand this statement in one verse.
All right.
A church of Jesus Christ, which Jesus is building, started in the Garden of Eden. When God created man, he had in his mind the church. However, the church did not stand. Actually, it fell before it could stand. That's why we now have the discussion of salvation. If Adam had not sinned, we wouldn't be talking about the salvation. We would be just simply talking about the progress of the church. But now, because of the sin and the fall and the consequences, now we have to mix the salvation part and then the original design of the church. Now, when you read the Bible, the Old Testament, you will realize that the church grows in 4 stages. For you to answer the position of the church, you must look at the church in 4 stages. God calls Abraham at level 1 to be a seed, to be the seed to begin what he's building. So the Bible here says we are a chosen generation. From the generation, the first word is gene. From God is looking for a seed, a gene. To start a generation, you cannot have a generation that you don't have a seed first, that you don't have a gene. You must be kind of multiplying those genes for you to have a nation. A nation is a multiplication of the genes. So Abraham starts as a seed, and then from the Abraham, we have Jacob starting now a clan of 12 sons. Now the 12 sons go into Egypt, and 430 years they become a nation. But this is a nation in slavery that now needs a deliverer, Moses, to produce or to give birth to it as now a nation. Now, the intention of God for the church is not to have congregations meeting as we now do have it. The intention of God is to have the universe have a race called church. every person that gets saved, he is born into a race. There is a particular race. Now, what I'm just explaining, you need to understand by Jesus Christ, that Jesus Christ is the seed of Adam, meaning he's a gene from which God is multiplying a race. I hope you understand. So the position of the church is a nation growing in a nation or in the world, that it must grow and actually become another world, that there is a world which is of a fallen nature, the sinful world, and then there is a world that is germinating from Jesus Christ to become a world of the righteousness, a world which is a complete world, which has its own culture, its own language, its own economies, its own leadership. So the position of the church is a nation or a world growing in a world. I hope you understand. A world growing in the world, that it has to go through the stages, which are 4 stages, from a seed that starts a family, to a clan, the 12 tribes, to a nation which has heritage, national heritage, has a language, has a national character, has national leaders, has a constitution. Then at level 4, which is the last stage, she becomes a kingdom. Now, if you have read the Bible, you will realize that after 400 years of judges, there comes David. Now he shifts a nation from just being a nation into a kingdom, and everything now becomes royal in Israel. So the church of Jesus Christ, the last 2,000 years, we have staggered in many things. By now we should be maybe a kingdom. Actually, Jesus Christ would have now returned. We should have reached the level of Solomon. But today when we read Solomon, we are amazed. We think, is it possible for us to have such a man as Solomon? But yet, if we were growing as we are supposed to grow, if we were going through stages systematically, one by one, when the church was born in Jerusalem, they were moving at a level of a family. The Bible said they went family to family. They did not have resources because they are not yet solidified as a nation. They were just moving. The Bible said people selling and bringing their proceeds, bringing just food, and they scatter, spread, give this and that. Meaning the church did not have infrastructure. They don't have structures. They don't have what they call this is our resources as a nation. Now, so the church has a position of growing in the world to become a nation like we have a nation of Uganda, and to become a kingdom like we have known these kingdoms, the United Kingdoms, the Roman kingdoms, there's the Babylonian. However, it's it's the total opposite of these empires that we know. I hope we understand this when I mentioned the church growing like a kingdom.
Okay.
Yes. If I would draw an example, in Daniel, the Bible said that Nebuchadnezzar had a dream where he had grown like a tree. And he was so big, I think in chapter 4. And then a voice came and a cutter was released from heaven. They said, cut him down, but leave him a stump, or leave him the root. Now, Jesus taught and said that we, the church, have received the kingdom which grows like a mustard seed. And when the mustard seed grows as a complete tree, that the birds of the air, the animals from all around, they come and take refuge. Meaning the church must grow like the kingdom of Babylon, where the world, the professors, the teachers, the border riders, and everyone comes to take refuge in the church. But the church has not attained that, because as we are now, this is 2020, tomorrow 2022, we have not attained that maturity of a tree that can have the shade accommodate every bird of the air. By the bird we mean human beings. We mean talents and gifts, because the last 2,000 years perhaps the church has not been rightly defined. Every individual is still living at an individual level. Actually, we are at a level like living like a clan, where Joseph dreams and the 11 brothers hate him. Today in church, a dreamer, a pastor who dreams big, his brothers will hurt him. Meaning we have not yet looked at ourselves as our nation, that what Apostle Amos has is ours.
Wow.
So it's our resource that if he develops like this dream he has to develop a powerful studio and share the gospel, it is a church asset as opposed to a personal asset. It serves a greater purpose when it is received and treated as a church asset. So the church is poor because those who would be working together to make the church have resources and have kind of a national character. What I mean a national character, something that looks like a nation. For a nation to be a nation, it must have resources, and it must have something that unifies us. We cannot say we are a nation when this one is speaking a different language, the other one is speaking a different language. This one is saying, this is my anthem. The other one say, no, I don't sing that anthem. A nation must have an anthem. Indeed. We must have colors.
So basically, that means the position of the church right now, we are still in that clan position.
It's a weaker position.
Wow.
It's a clan position. I compare it with Joseph and his brothers. So we have the Josephs in our times who are dreaming. Yeah. And the majority, those who should be supported by, who should support the dreamers, who should now be saying among us, because your vision as an apostle, my vision as an apostle, and his vision as an apostle should be bringing the apostolic kind of a team that move together singing one anthem to pursue something that this is like the nations have the budgets and they have the agenda. They set Agenda 2020, Agenda 2040. Yeah. The church should be having that. But because we are still thinking individually, and we are still everyone on their own, we don't have a national character. We don't look like we are a nation. So our position is a shaky foundation, is a shaky position, is a poor. We are kind of, if a state, we are a poor state. Wow. We don't have infrastructures, we don't have, so the world looks at us as kind of groupings of, we are still at grouping level, everyone hyping up some little here, some little there, and some little there. And so that is the position of the church. It's a very shaking one and very challenging.
Wow.
So,
thank you so much, Apostle.
You're welcome.
And our viewers, I also appreciate you so much. Thank you for viewing us on our YouTube channel. Please, there is a very, very important message right here. I'm sure you don't want a friend to miss, so please just click on that button, invite a friend. Please, if you can share the link on your WhatsApp, on your Facebook, please do it, because I want everyone to learn this. There is something very important that we are discussing. So please, I don't want you to miss. If you've heard it, please, I don't want a friend to miss. So please, go to our invite a friend, let them subscribe to our YouTube channel so that we can all learn together. Apostle Prince, thank you so much.
You're welcome.
That position in the church right now, we are still in that clan position.
We are very...
Because definitely I've been seeing this happening across the world. Mm-hmm. You know, a church tries to bring up something, then not only in the church, but even in families. I don't know, you must have recognized this.
Yes.
You find in a family, if a brother has